Today's topic of conversation is the Mexico City E-Prix race review, Season 4, Round 5 of Formula E Season 4, and it was a slow burner. I think we can all agree with that. Definitely a slow burner. Pretty average start, no real drama on the first lap whatsoever. It was Rosenqvist on pole, followed by Turvey. Buemi was in third, then it was Da Costa, Abt, Verne and Piquet, and all pretty much held position except Abt made his way into fourth, passing Da Costa. And at the back of the field, Bird and Di Grassi, who both had penalties, worked their way a couple of positions further up, but nothing major, I would say, from anyone on the first opening few laps. We then saw Rosenqvist really break away, then Turvey really break away, and then we had Buemi and a little train behind him, which was quite interesting to see actually. A lot of people thought the train would be behind Turvey, but it was behind Buemi. And then we saw Verne make a cheeky move up the inside of Antonio Felix da Costa on lap 5, forcing him wide, very close to the barriers. Very good move from Verne, although I imagine Da Costa was a bit annoyed how wide Verne forced him, but that area of the track was a bit interesting with track limits this weekend, so it could be an issue we see in the future track limits, but it seemed okay, although again I feel for Da Costa a bit there because he was pushed very wide and it forced Piquet through as well. Then on lap 15 the big drama happened. So Formula E is known for its big moments, and this was one of them, and race leader Felix Rosenqvist stopped. Just before he was about to go on to lap 16 on the home straight, he was stopped on the corner. I mean, can you believe it? Once someone starts to get a bit of luck going for them in Formula E, it all just goes away. And that's exactly what happened to Rosenqvist today. Gutted for him, really was really controlling the race. Meant Turvey inherited the lead and Rosenqvist was right at the back of the field. And then 2 laps later, he stopped again. He managed to get the car going, but he stopped again. Then he came in for his second car and he ended up not finishing the race. But Rosenqvist really could have gone back into the lead of the championship and really put up some points against Verne, who was fighting in the mid-points, but he wasn't going to get major points this weekend. So that meant Turvey led from Buemi and Daniel Abt. We then saw nothing until the pit stop phase, where Da Costa decided he wasn't going to turn into turn 1 and just went straight on. However, that lead pack, I'll call them, was so far ahead that made no difference to him whatsoever. And then the big boys all came in. Turvey, Buemi, even Mitch Evans, who was just hanging on the edge of that pack, all came in. And it was Daniel Abt who went from third up to first. He jumped them all. And Verne also came in, I apologise, I forgot to mention him. But Verne also jumped Buemi. So we now had Abt, Turvey, Verne, Buemi, Piquet. So then this is where the controversy begins. So on lap 28, 2 big things happened. And I say controversy, probably no one will know what I'm on about, but at the end of lap 28, going on to 29, Nick Heidfeld stopped in the same place as Felix Rosenqvist, and Mahindra, not a great race weekend at all, was it? It was looking promising, but it all went away in the race, and there'll be a lot of talking behind the scenes on what went wrong this weekend. However, the big issue for me, again, was the fan boost. And on the home straight, Buemi did a good little dummy to pass Verne. However, it was only the fan boost that allowed Buemi to get past, and I think that's wrong. And I'm going to go more into detail on that on the Formula E weekly show that'll be coming out later today, but I wasn't impressed with that, and you're going to hear my thoughts all about fan boost in today's Formula E weekly, so I won't spoil everything here, but it was a bit annoying. I can't deny about that. Di Grassi also used it to pass D'Ambrosio on lap 37, and apart from that, the end stint wasn't amazing, but we saw Piquet working his way up through the field. He stopped a lap later. We also saw Di Grassi as well. He was moving throughout the field, but we didn't really see him because all the cameras were focusing on Piquet in that front group, as they were so tight. And although a lot didn't happen, the tension was there, and Piquet, not the best management from him. I think he could have been on that podium if he'd have pushed in the right places. However, these Formula E cars, they're still relatively new, and I think some of these guys still a learning, even though they're in the 4th season. And PK, that's probably a bit unfair to say because he was a Season 1 champion, and he's not a bad driver at all. He's one of the better drivers in Formula E, I would say. I'm not his biggest fan, but he's not a bad driver. But I think he could have got a podium this weekend if he'd have just managed that energy a little bit better. But again, like I said, not much happened in that final stint. On the second to last lap, we saw Buemi look up, nearly run into the back of Turvey, and Turvey looked up sort of in reaction of it. It was pretty mad, to be honest, and heart rates were going then. I thought, oh my god, we're going to have a big smash here, but no, still no big smashes, sadly. We all love to see a big smash, but unfortunately there wasn't one this weekend either, which meant Daniel Abt took his first race win. Well, his second first race win, really. This is his second win, but his first one was taken away due to a team administration error. So Abt obviously ecstatic, and if he wasn't stripped of that first win, if the team hadn't made that stupid error, Abt would be right up there in this championship fight. And he's had a solid season as Daniel Abt, and it was a solid race from him today. Controlled it in that second part of the race. We barely even saw him. Fantastic from the German, a really likeable guy. He is one of my favourites, so I'd just say these sort of things just so you understand if I'm being biased or not. I try not to be biased at all, but it was a solid race from Abt, who in past seasons hasn't been great, and he's been outshone by Degrassi. And Degrassi got points as well. Can I just say that? Fantastic from Lucas Degrassi, getting the fastest lap and in the tail end of the points. Great from him. Also on the podium was Oliver Turvey for his first podium in Formula E, and Sebastian Buemi for Renault Edam. So, like I say, it was a slow burner. Tension was there, and it wasn't too bad, was it? In terms of best race of the season, I'm not too sure about that. However, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I can't remember if I've actually rated Formula E races so far. Actually, I'm going to give it... I'll stick with a 7. I'll stick with a 7. And my driver of the day, it's a difficult one. Abt I want to give it to. Vern was pretty solid as per usual, though he didn't quite get the result. Buemi lost a lot out on the pit stops, and it was a bit gutty for him. Turvey as well, with his first podium in Formula E, and Degrassi working his way up the field as well. And you know what? I'm actually going to give it to Lucas Degrassi for working his way up the field, starting at the back, going that little bit longer on his first car to have a bit more energy. The second car, he did have fan boost to get past Ambrosio, but I would love to give it to Daniel Abt, but he didn't make a single pass on track except lap 1. And I always think with the driver of the day, I don't know, I always feel that people sometimes vote it wrongly, especially in Formula 1. Sometimes they'll just give it to the race winner because they won the race, and obviously that means they were the best driver on the day, but Daniel Abt had a lot of luck today. A lot of luck today. Obviously with the Rosenfist dropping out, obviously as well with the big jump in the pits. I mean, it's faultless drive from Daniel Abt. However, I think Lucas Degrassi's masterclass of overtaking, for me, warrants him driver of the day over Daniel Abt. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy the race? I'm pretty sure most of us did. Formula E Weekly will be out later today. Again, this is a bit late. Sorry for that, this episode. Obviously, the race last night was at 9:30, which obviously isn't too late. However, I didn't see the race until 11:30. As I had other commitments, so I do apologise it's out so late. It's out today, but that's the way it's got to be. Formula E Weekly, as I said, will be out later today, but guys, hopefully you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.